demonstrating their latest update and of advanced technologies so as to expedite the marketization of these technologies. And today with us is Mr. Ma Yan, Vice Director of the Rehabilitation Assistant Technology Association of Qinhuangdao. Can you brief us on the categorization of rehabilitation assistant devices? The rehabilitation assistant devices mainly provide services for three kinds of people: the senior citizens, the physically challenged people, and those who are with mobility diseases. And it serves as a supplement, a substitute, or assistance. Can you elaborate on that? According to national standard, there are altogether 12 categories, and currently we have about several thousands of devices. For example, these are mobility assistant wheelchairs. It has 3 postures. If you press this button, it can help you to walk, it can help you to stand and lie down. So it has 3 postures. This is a standing posture. So these are the 3 basic human postures. You can adjust these mobility assistant devices to a posture that is most suitable to you. This product, for example, is for those handicapped people with mobility challenges. It can help you to go up the stairs. If you're living in a building with no elevators, you can use this wheelchair to help you go upstairs. So it's like a supplement to public facilities. This is another type called the prosthetic assistant devices. If a patient is suffering from the loss of a limb, you can attach this device to the patient's limb, be it arms or legs, and serves as a function of prosthetic. It can be connected to your thigh and your calf. And if you sit down, it can bend like this. And if the patient is walking, it can help you to complete your motions. And when you're sitting down, it can serve as a function of a knee. So what are the materials used to build this device? This product per se is using a titanium composite. It's quite light, and at the back there is also steel attached to it. These are what we know as supporters. And also known as orthotics. This is used on the shoulders. Also one of the 12 categories that we mentioned. Let's go over there. So why did the Expo choose Qinhuangdao as the location? The city of Qinhuangdao is identified as one of the 12 cities that has pilot projects for rehabilitation robots. Together with this is the capital city of Hebei province, Shijiazhuang. because Qinhuangdao is a city with very favorable natural conditions and climate, and it's a very good place for rehabilitation and old age care. These are chopsticks, a special design for elderly people. It's quite easy and handy to use. And we have also special designed spoons. These are daily utensils to facilitate people's lives. These are knives. Unlike traditional knives, you can use it as this way. So these are all special designed for elderly citizens. You might not know what this is for. It is used for turning things. For example, if this is a key, if you do not have enough power at your hand to turn the key, you can use this to assist you to do so. So this industry attaches great importance to creativity and novelty. As long as you can help the elderly citizen, you will have a market. As I said, we have 108 companies participating in this expo, presenting their latest product to the customers. And you also told us that this expo is different from traditional expo. The exhibitors also include the universities and research institutes. So can you elaborate on the model of the expo? This expo attaches importance to innovation. It's an innovation-driven exhibition. Therefore, we also invite University and Research Institute, and we have a special exhibition hall for them so that they can demonstrate some of their lab products and results in this special zone. Some of them can be used in the army, used to be used in the army, and will be hopefully used in our daily lives in the future. These seem unrelated to the rehabilitation industry. They might be a part of robots that used to be serving the army, but after some modification, I can just take this as a model and implement it in the devices that can be used in daily lives. Can you tell us what these are for? This is a robotic joint. Can help with the mobility of the robots at the joint. Here is what we call a joint module. That is to say, it can be attached to all of the joints on the robots. We are in charge of the R&D of this module and provide it to the robot manufacturers. That is to say, for the other enterprises, they can just focus on the intelligent technologies part, and they can purchase the parts from us. You don't have to worry about the development and research and making of the joint. You can focus more on algorithm and smart technologies and so on. And our cost is about 1/3 to 50% lower than foreign manufacturers. This is actually only one of the manufacturers in this exhibition. Here you can see is some lab products that is still under development in the universities. Let's have a look. Can you tell us what this system is for? It's a evaluation of the wrist and see if your wrist is healthy or resistant enough. It's devices that is compliant, that has also incorporated VR technologies that can give you timely feedback and diagnosis of your wrist. By using this device, you can control a maze. You can use your wrist to try to get this ball in the maze out of this map. What kind of conclusion do you expect to get after this experiment? We will have a series of statistics about the time and the mobility of the wrist and the flexibility of the wrist. It will only take a couple of seconds to complete the process. That is under a situation that your wrist is healthy. If I finish this in 1 minute, and tomorrow I will be finishing in 15 seconds, and the day after next I will be finishing this in 20 seconds. So that will be an improvement of the health condition. In the past, you will be holding a much larger devices than this, but right now it's much more handy. We have done a lot of experiment on many cohorts and have already a benchmark standard. And when we have a new customer, we can compare his or her statistics with the benchmark and give rehabilitation suggestions. It is also an evaluation for the recovery situation of the patient. This involves a very complicated mechanical system. Has a lot of parallel connections. If you can use your wrist to adjust the angle of the balls, it is quite sensitive. With the slight shake of your wrist, you can adjust the angles. This is for the recovery of the wrists. We have a lot of product of exoskeleton products. For example, this is where the patient legs goes. And at the exterior, there will be a device that is similar to the skeleton, that is known as the exoskeleton, using sensors, using motors to help someone to walk. So it has does not need external assistance. So it does not need external existence. It has no motors. It will restore the energy at the patient wrist and just pass it through the springs on the device. And it's also very lightweighted, so it will not be a lot of pressure on the patient. It can also lower the cost, and it's facing more and bigger market opportunities because the cost of manufacture is much lower than those with external powers. The exoskeleton with exterior motors will cost about 1 million, but this one is much cheaper and better to and also it can work better. This is an experimental photo on a patient in a clinical trial. It can increase the speed of walking of the patient by 50%, but you will still be needing a walking stick. We see a lot of universities bringing their lab research result. And also they have made a lot of innovation on top of the existing products in order to lower the risk. These research institutes and universities are highly innovative, and they are looking forward to work with the enterprises to transform the lab result into marketized products. Can you show us how this works? Most of these devices will be used at the rehabilitation centers or hospitals. Most of them will not be suitable to use at home because these devices are too big. This has motors, but it also incorporates smart technologies. It can strengthen or empower you. It has its own operation algorithm. When the person goes up, it can adjust its parameters according to the person sitting on it. This is quite a large device and takes some time to function. The good thing about robot is that once you set the program, it can be repeated for thousands of times. In this way, its memory is much stronger than that of humans. Right now, you can see that different joint of this person is moving. Right now, this is the training of the ankles. This device is helping the patient to train the ankles. Let's take a look at some other technologies. This is a device to prevent elderly people from falling down. So when someone falls down, it can the airbag can prevent severe injuries. You can just strap this at the elderly people's waist. In the case of a tripping, the airbag will come out and protect this person. It has a sensor that can detect the motions of the user and the speed of the user and the leaning angle of the user, so as to assess the risk of falling down. If it comes to a tipping point, the airbags will come out instantly to prevent severe injuries from happening. What we observed are mostly used in rehabilitation centers. Only a few of them can be used at home. For those home use appliances, you will have to further lower the cost so as for the family to be able to afford. These are devices that can be used both at hospital or at home. It's a bed that can be turned into a chair. It also provides mobility assistance and comfort of resting. For this exhibition hall for universities and research institutions, how many entities are there? I think there are about more than a dozen, 15, 16 exhibitors here, which are it's a highly selective expo. We only invited the best. Here is a video demonstration of this device. It's also a training device. With this, it can actively prevent the old person from falling down. In a case of tripping over, the shelf will protect the older citizen from falling down. This is an automatic walking device. It is the state-of-the-art technologies of distant visual. It used similar technologies with driverless cars, that is the laser radar technologies, to capture the motion of the legs and feet of someone turning right, turning left, and this cart will be following the user simultaneously. If someone trips over, as you can see, here is a protection cable, much like those that are used with cleaners who have to clean windows high above. In the case of a falling down, this rope can keep this person by strapping it around the waist of the human being and support the weight of the human being. It has 3 sides and 4 points. And this shelf is made of carbon fiber. It is 8 times stronger than the steels. So a lot of suspense technologies and devices are made by carbon fiber, and the joints can take up to 300 kilometers of pressure. All of these weight bearing is much higher than that of human beings, so as to ensure 100% the safety of the human being. You can have a try. You can relax. I can turn right and turn left. I think I shouldn't be walking too fast, right? The shelf is following me constantly. I wasn't as proficient as our staff. I'm not very good at turning. You can also go backward. I can also try this. This looks like a vest. Now let's see if it can bear my weight. We can connect the cable to it. Think it will be much easier for someone to walk especially someone with mobility difficulty. Can you squat and hold up your feet? Let's try walking. You need to be walking as like a senior citizen in order to feel the function of this product. I need to be turning slowly. The strap here is mainly for protection purposes. When I squat it down, I really do feel the power of the straps. And that's it for the experiment. This product is mainly for those who are living in a nursery. If someone grew old but did not have enough time to do walking, only do handiwork, his pulmonary function will slowly decrease. But there is also a risk for someone to be walking, especially in a nursery, because the nursery will be the one to carry responsibility for the injury of the elderly citizen. Therefore, the motor function of the elderly citizen will gradually degenerate due to this. But this device can help the elderly citizen to maintain their mobility. In this expo, we have seen a lot of smart devices. Now let's continue to see what are they. These smart devices mainly aims at restoring the mobility of the patient. The so-called smart technology is more intelligent, sometimes more intelligent than human beings. These smart devices and technologies can help someone to restore their motor functions. We did see a lot of such technologies. This is another walking assistance or rehabilitation facility. It also can be used in a rehabilitation center. When someone's walking or suffering from a stroke, so that the lower limb is not working anymore, you can use this to support the weight and to use other devices to help someone to walk. Here we can see two screens with a lot of statistics. Can you brief us on these statistics? As you can see, this is a limb rehabilitation robot. It helps those with motor disability on the lower limb to conduct some preliminary and first stage restoration exercise. It's a mimic of humans' walking posture. It can also reduce biological weight for someone. For normal people, their center will move up and down like this. So this will help the patient, especially those at the early stage, to be part of the exercises as soon as they can. Because in the early stage, the traditional way would be that the therapist must be helping the patient to exercise on a daily basis. Sometimes there is just not enough opportunity to do that. Therefore, with this assistance, every patient can have access to a personal therapist so that they can start the recovery as soon as they can. At this golden period, it can greatly help the rehabilitation process of the patient. So what are these statistics for? During my walk, I can check my situation in a timely fashion. The blue line stands for the participation percentage when the person is standing. When you are making effort, there will be a timely feedback here on the screen, as you can see this very sharp inclination here. So this very timely feedback can at the same time establish confidence in a patient. This is a neural and visual feedback on the patient so that the patient can can obtain a sense of achievement. And also he would have a clear picture whether his muscles has been actively participating in this process. Here you can see the changes of the patient's left and right hip, as well as the wrists. Here you can see that we can also make some adjustment of the parameters according to these statistics, because different patients may be suffering from different conditions. Thank you so much. I believe that this is quite useful when it comes to the restoration of walking and standing capability of a patient. You have already become an expert. Here are some of the daily used products. Take this, for example, is a chopstick. It's a pair of chopsticks. This is a special designed spoon. This is carved out of a plastic model and also a pair of chopsticks. This ball, for example, when you put it at the table, it can be automatically attached to the ground, attached to the table, so as to help with the stability when a person is eating. This is a handbar that can be attached to the furniture. Whenever, when there is no handle, when there was no handle, you can use this to make a handle. And this sucking stick is very strong, can be steadily attached to furnitures. We see a lot of daily used products in this exhibition hall. They can be frequently seen in this exhibition hall. This is another example for trainings. It's a board game, also helpful for restoration. So what training is this? It's a risk evaluation system for elderly people's falling down events. If someone falls down, it can send back a signal reminding you which of these places are not steady enough for you to step on. I can tell you which part of your feet is withstanding the power in an uneven manner. At the same time, there are exercises to prevent the elderly people from falling down. These are primary statistic analysis of an elderly citizen. This is a big data massage chair. It's muscle therapy robots helping you to loosen your muscle and relieve the strains. If you have some strains of the neck, it only takes about 2 minutes to help you to relieve yourself from the strains. It's another category in the 12 categories that I mentioned. This is hearing aid. Very small hearing aid. Just now we were making introductions of the research results of the research institutes and universities. This is another exoskeleton robot aiming to help those paralysis or partial paraplegic patients. So this is with motor. the external powers are exerted on the knee and the feet. So when someone put this on, you still need the walking stick to keep balance. But you can rely this on walking. The walking stick is only a preventive measures, just in case. But the major motor with the motive will be from this robots. Can you give us a demonstration? We want to see how this works. These are like wearable devices. For some patients, they cannot maintain upright in their upper body. So it's a full body exoskeleton helping to support the weight of someone. Can you adjust the power of the devices? Yes. And it is run by batteries. It has different motors, different sensors, and protection devices, which can adjust according to the parameters of the user. And the therapist can help the patient to determine which kind of steps and what kind of power that should be applied to this device. It has an internal intelligence system, so everything is under doctor's description. The patient cannot decide the parameters and settings on their own. This is a patient with some spinal cord injuries, and this device can help him to do some restoration and rehabilitation. So a large number of patients can restore full or part of the motor function. This weighs about 20 kilograms, but will not feel too heavy on a patient because this machine touches the ground. Most of the weight is on the ground instead of on the patient. And it's made of a titanium composite. And it is already very lightweight. It's about 20 kilograms in weight. A setting can be applied here, helping the patient to walk with the assistance. Even if someone that cannot walk at all can do some rehabilitation exercises, it's a very good training for not only the muscles and the nerves, but also the spirits. if someone fell sick, the worst idea is to just force him to lie in bed all day. If you just take 20 minutes, 30 minutes out of one day to do some exercise, it can elevate someone's spirit. The exhibitor just told us one very important factor, that is, through these devices, it can help the patients to restore its motor function and status. It can also restore and improve their pulmonary functions. As I said, it serves as a rehabilitation, supplement, or substitute. The rehabilitation industry has seen a lot of improvement because the government attaches great importance to this industry in recent years. Can you brief us on the status quo of the rehabilitation centers in China? There is a rehabilitation department in most hospitals, and there is also a special rehabilitation hospital. There are institutions dedicated to the rehabilitation of elderly citizens as well as handicapped people. In Qinhuangdao, we have a lot of similar institutions. In this exhibition, we have seen a lot of devices, some robotic exoskeletons, and we see how do they help the patients to stand, to walk, to training, or restore their motor functions. And we also see an special exhibition hall for universities and research institutes to showcase their research results and lab products so as to expedite the marketization process. And that basically concludes today's live broadcast. We were broadcasting you in Qinhuangdao. Thank you for being with us.